Hey guys, and welcome. Today I'm going to do another how-to, and this one's going to be about the water pump seal behind here. I found that I'm getting a little bit of water in the gearbox oil, and it's sort of not freshening up each time I change it. I thought it was from different water crossings and whatever, but it's been dry for a while and I'm still getting a lot of water in my oil. So I just assume that it's going to be this water pump seal here. So we'll replace that one today and see if it helps. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the expansion chamber here. Got a couple of bolts up here that do the mounting fixtures, and we've got the two springs up the front here as well, which I've removed. Two springs go to those little clips there, and I've already removed these bolts here as well. So it's just a matter of wiggling and getting the expansion chamber in the right spot so that it comes out nicely like that. Now I've got a nice big area to work with the expansion chamber gone. We're going to first flush the full cooling system. So there's the drain bolt here, but just below the water pump. That's going to flush out all of the coolant. I might just take the radiator cap off to let it flow nicely. And once we've done that, then we're going to do the gearbox oil and get all of that out as well. Okay, just crack that. We've got a bucket here waiting. Okay, so next is to drain the gearbox oil, just so that when we're doing the water pump here, we don't have anything in the bike, basically. Make it a bit easier, make sure it's a bit cleaner sort of thing. Draining the gearbox oil is pretty simple. We've got a bolt down the bottom here, and I make a little bit of a cardboard sort of, I guess you call it a funnel sort of thing, that just directs the oil down to here rather than just sitting down, going into the bash plate. It's a bit neater and cleaner, and doesn't make so much of a mess all over the bike that you have to clean up later. So we'll just knock this bolt out here, the drain bolt, and there we go. Now you can see the colour of that oil is not good. Oh, bugger. While that gearbox oil is draining there, we'll crack open these 4 bolts that keep the water pump cover on. I've already undone them, loosened them off here, so we'll just pull it off and get this cover off and see what we can see. Set different size bolts. Whenever I'm pulling bolts out and they're different sizes and things like that, I always just lay them out in the pattern that I see on the bike there. Just makes it easier when reinstalling. You don't get any mistakes with which bolt goes where sort of thing. So we'll knock out all 4 of these. That one's a long one there as well. And then this one's probably going to be a shorter one. Again, there we go. So all 4 bolts sitting there nicely, just the way I took them out. So we'll pull this cover off and see what we can see. There we go. So there's the water pump cover, water pump impeller, which we'll need to remove so we can get to the seal there. Just better watch these dowels too. These dowels are going to come out, aren't they? So I might just take them out now, I think. Rather than lose them later. Okay, that one's set in nicely. Good. So we'll just remove the bolt from the center of the impeller here, because behind here is where the seal that we're replacing today is going to be. So with that off, we might have to pry it. Nope, she's good. There we go. There's the impeller off there. You can get little upgraded impellers too. Don't know how fancy they are or what they do, but probably should have got one while I was doing this. Anyway, and here's the little seal that we're removing today. And we're going to do my old trick of drill a little tiny hole, get a screw in there and reef it out. Let's see how it works. Just pulling that seal apart. Okay, well the old screw in there trick's not really working too well with this one. I might just try one more hole, try another hole. Come on baby, come on. Just tap it in. I was just immediately up sideways there. I wonder if we just try wedging it out. There we go, here it comes out now. Here's the seal ready to come out after a bit of mashing and bashing. So I've got the new seal ready to pop in. and we'll just check the other old one and see which direction it goes in. Not that it really matters. Yeah, it does. There we go. So it pops in that way, and ready to pop in there. Yeah, now it's coming home. There we go, that's sitting home nice now. All the way around. Just a tad more there, just make sure. That feels better. There we go, beautiful, nice and home there everywhere now. So now we're just going to clean up the whole area here and just make sure there's nothing sitting there before we put it all back together. Okay, so now we just reverse the process really. We're just going to pop the impeller back on and okay, that's keyed, there we go. So that's keyed to that bit there. So, get in the right spot, there we go, slides on nicely. And just reverse the process really. Just pop everything back on and snug everything up nicely and talk to specifications if that's what you do. I don't know. I don't. So we've got the old housing here and the old gasket that's just come off. Just again, just make sure it's nice and clean. Have a little visual inspection. Make sure there's nothing that's going to stop that seal from sealing, from doing its job. And we'll just pop the new seal in here, ready to go, just to make sure it's all in the right spot. Alright, so I'm actually coming back to this job a few days later, and you know, like I was saying before, thankfully I've set out the bolts perfectly here, so I know exactly where they go. So I'll throw this housing back on, and just give it a little wiggle to make sure it feels like it's sitting flush, and have a bit of a check around. Yeah, it feels good. So now we can grab these bolts in order. We need those two were the long ones, those two were the shorter ones, top and bottom, and we can go ahead and wind those in. Now that all that's done, I can go through and torque them up with my fancy torque wrench. What I'll do is I'll do it in a bit of a pattern as well, and just keep slowly going down on, going a bit harder on them. It's like an O-ring gasket, so it'll take a fair bit of pressure before it seals nicely, and you just feel which one needs a bit more torquing than the others. There we go, we're starting to get really snug now. My torquing method, tight enough so that it won't fall out, not tight enough, not too tight as to strip the threads. There's the water pump seal done with the new gasket on the housing. Now we'll go ahead and fill the oil back up for the gearbox, and also fill up the radiator fluid. Take it for a ride. Just, you know, if you've got a little riding area, take it for a good ride. Check it out all the time as you're riding. Make sure there's nothing funny happening. And then after your decent ride, stop, have a look, make sure nothing's leaking anywhere. And then it'll be the test of time then of pulling off the cap here, giving it a few kicks over to see what the oil looks like in the gearbox there. And fingers crossed it stays nice and clean. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this has really helped you out, and I'll see you on the next how-to.